Hello guys, long time no speak. I'm back with a from scratch series classic flipperty. So this one I'm going to start with a bow. I'm on the med level and I've just done a little bit of LMS in order to get 4 handles, which is going to be my starting cash. So I decided to start with a mage cape switch. As you can see, I don't actually have entangles, so the idea was, well, I'm not going to use my mage capes on this day. So I am going to TB and then switch to mage, and hopefully that's going to help me to secure some kills quite quickly. Also, it's quite fun to use barrage. So this guy, he's actually in red D hide. I've already TB'd him. He's got a lisp, but he's trying to call me a bitch. And yeah, he's got a crossbow, so it's definitely worth killing. That corner is so painful. So honestly, in the first day that I was doing this, that was just the bane of my life. That corner with the agility hop. But I managed to work out kind of how to do that. So anyway, the thing that really confused me about this clip is he died really quickly, but then he said good fight. So I mean, he's literally called me a bitch, but then immediately good fighted me. So yeah, a bit of a confused guy. And as you can see here, I failed quite a few times because this guy TB'd him, went for the cape switch, and actually didn't have any didn't have any more switches. So I basically just had to run him down with the bow, and I thought, fuck it, why not just see what happens. Somehow managed to kill him. I don't know how either, but I didn't really get that much. So I just upgraded the gear really slightly. I bought some Barrow's gloves and a Neats, and I think a Sears ring as well, but I'm not too sure. And just went straight back. So I've got entangles now. I found this guy. I had a kill on me already. Um, Maybe tried to bite off more than I could chew, but he just randomly pulled out mystics, which was interesting. So yeah, it was only one kill that time, but it made me realise I probably need seeds at some point. So I found a boss and I just checked to see if there was anyone else actually at the boss before I got on this guy, and it was a little bit awkward at first, to be honest, because as you can see, this guy was smiting me. I was actually the one getting PK'd, so I don't really know, but obviously I wasn't TB'd and he was, so it was basically like if I can outlast this guy, then I get the kill. And yeah, the bow is just super powerful, so he just smited me the whole time. Respect to that guy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really get much, and then I realised why I was smiting. So this is just a fast forward because I sold all the loot up until this point, which was a couple of mil, or just under 2 mil, and I bought mystics, as you can see, and also a tome of fire. So a little bit of an upgrade. I also bought some Wrath runes, which meant that I had 3 attack styles and a rune shield kind of for defense. Cool. So I didn't realize at the time, but this guy was actually a bot. So one way to kill this bot, he's just basically just got a auto switch of a prayer. So you can just basically wait until the last second and switch to your bow. So the other interesting thing here is they never actually got to the auto. As you can see, I'm just TBing him with a DDS on to get a full. And then just switching from the start to the bow just to get him. But every time you see me kill this bot farm, I didn't realize at the time, they've got a chaos tiara. So actually they were trying to get down to the chaos altar. So this guy had a door, but I managed to get a full TB on him when he wasn't expecting it. And after a really painful long fight, as you can see, 101 hits there. I think it's 102 for a full TB typically. Obviously, it depends on the speed of your weapon. So he just really narrowly died. And I managed to get TB on this Scold guy, and he ran out of prayer actually after hopping the agility jump and running me around a little bit. And yeah, I just couldn't finish him off really here. But it was worth it because basically he was out of prayer and I was also out of pots and things like that. I've kind of just spoiled it, but I did manage to get his amulet of avarice, which was nice. I think it was about 1 mil, and you saw the classic Karamja telly when you're trying to telly out of a glory. So now is an opportunity to get an abyssal dagger. It was only 2.2 mil, which was really nice. I thought it was more expensive, but yeah, that's just a overpowered version of a DDS. And you're probably wondering, why have you still got the D skim? Well, that's because actually if they're above 30 wildy, what you can do is entangle them, de-skim them, and get a full TB. And I thought it was worth doing that when I was in crap gear. So I went back to the bank and checked the key, just pretty standard. And after that, I decided to get an occult and a D-boot switch. This was because I was full TBing people with doors and actually not killing them. And here you can see an example of actually de-skimming somebody who's got a door, and then just getting on them. And thanks to the kind of the occult for a better mage and also the D-boots for better melee, I was able to start kind of killing people with doors on full TBs. So that was quite nice, and it kind of opened me up to getting better loot. As you can see here, almost a mil, 761k. So these are relatively big kills for the time. The other thing I really love about this technique is that these guys will often fight back because they're quite cocky. They will literally just camp mage the whole time. But then the second that you actually do this, they just go, oh fuck, and start running away. This guy ran into multi. I usually wouldn't follow them, but I was at that kind of stage in the series where I thought, okay, do you know what? If I just die for a couple of mil, then that's okay. I can restart. Luckily, he didn't have anyone. It was a bluff, and it was worth it because this was the biggest kill so far. So 1.9 mil, and it was just in loot. He'd just been there for a long time. So found this guy, TB'd him or entangled him above 30, took the D boots off. They give negative mage bonus, attack bonus, but actually not defense bonus. So if you're running away from someone, interesting little tidbit, don't take them off. It doesn't do anything. And as you can see, this guy was smited, so I thought, okay, brilliant, I'm just going to kill him. Didn't really have time. It was the last level that I could actually attack him, or one of the last levels, so I just wanted to finish him off, but unfortunately he didn't actually lose his bow. He still had one restore left. So at this point I sold everything, and I forgot to actually record that, so you can just see me selling everything off. And what I bought is a DFS and a Mystic Smoke Battle Staff, just to make my mage bonus a bit better, and obviously my melee as well as my tank shield. So here's me kind of putting that into action. I've started to actually have decent tribrid now, not just relying entirely on the bow. But even in this D-hide, the bow is my most powerful attack style. So when I was on like a bot or something like that, then I was switching to the bow. So this guy actually was below 30 or on the 30 line, but he was AFK, so that's another benefit of having the skim. I just skimmed him just to see if I could. I have the opportunity to KO him here a number of times, but I just couldn't hit anything. So yeah, this just shows that he was actually AFK. Don't go AFK in the wild, but unfortunately I couldn't kill him. He came back and made it a bit more difficult. As you can see here, he's actually using Redemption. And the reason I'm maging on Redemption is because if you hit a 0 with your melee or your range, then you can proc the Redemption and he'll heal HP. Whereas if you splash, it doesn't proc the Redemption. So you're more likely to kill someone on Redemption if you've got mage. Obviously, that depends on the sort of mage you're doing, but you get what I'm trying to say here. So I was just using this tactic. By the way, I bought Infinity Boots. There were so many small upgrades that I didn't record them all. And I just got sick of taking the D-boot switch off. And with the DFS, I felt like my melee was strong enough. But yeah, I was just at this point pretty comfortable with the DPS I was putting out. As you can see here, the Abyssal Dagger is extremely fun to play with. It's like a DDS, but it just hits a bit better or more consistently. This guy I felt a little bit bad. It's also actually quite good for main handing. I hit like a 40 plus there. But you've obviously got to kill those sort of guys. I didn't really get too much off him, but if he's killing the Pyrofiends in that sort of gear with no bonuses, then yeah, you've got to kind of get on him. So this guy had a Missouri helmet. I actually skim TB'd him, which is why you can see that I've only got a little bit of spec here because I'd used it all already. Went to freeze him, but I'd actually killed him, and it just goes to show the power of the bow of Feridinus, or whatever it's called. I also got some Bandos, by the way, some Bandos D-hide, but I think that's only worth like 300k, so I didn't want to make the video too long. And at this point, yeah, I was just kind of doing a grind, essentially, skimming people and TBing them, and I managed to get a light bearer because of that after a couple of kills. So that made it a lot more effective to skim, because after I'd skimmed, it was much quicker for my kind of next spec to come back. It also meant that if I actually full TB'd someone, I could get a lot of Abyssal Dagger specs. So it made it easier to kill people. So yeah, I was really enjoying this actually. As you can see, I've still got the Mage Arena 1 cape, but my gear is starting to improve, and every kill was like 500k plus, which was quite nice. So I found this guy at the boss. He started walking. Yeah, so he had some decent loot, and I turned into Gigolo J here. I did manage to smite this guy, but turns out I only smited him for what I assume is the D plate skirt. So that was the end of the first day, and as you can see, I've got the Mage Gate back out, and I'm just back up to my old tricks. I've also got the Entangles just in case something happens, because I wouldn't want to get full TB'd as well, and then not have any kind of freezes in order to escape. As you can see here, Classic hit the Dark Beast, which made this kill a little bit more painful. But yeah, I think with these episodes, this is going to be the last kill of the episode, by the way. With the first episode, it's always fairly slow and to start with, just because you don't start with anything and you have to kind of kill kind of noobs basically in order to progress. But hopefully you have enjoyed the video and the commentary. In real life, I'm on about episode 3, I'd say, and some really big things have happened. So make sure you like, subscribe, and to stay tuned for more. And I thought I'd leave this on a big kind of final kill. Catch you in the next one. Peace.